What if I told you your financial struggle is not about how much you earn, but one hidden rule? Watch till the end.
Daniel Carter had always been broke. At 32, he lived in a modest apartment on the edge of a small town in America, working long hours at the local retail store. Every day, he clocked in at 8 a.m. and left at 9 p.m., exhausted, yet somehow still behind on bills. Rent, electricity, groceries, everything seemed to conspire against him. His paycheck vanished almost as soon as it arrived, leaving him scrounging for spare change, borrowing from friends, or resorting to last-minute payday loans. Despite his best efforts, Daniel felt trapped. He constantly worried about the future, haunted by the gnawing sense that he would always be stuck in this endless cycle of stress and scarcity. On nights when he couldn't sleep, he'd stare at the ceiling and wonder if he was destined to live a life of financial struggle, a life where opportunity passed him by, while others seemed to thrive effortlessly. One evening, while scrolling aimlessly on his phone, Daniel stumbled upon a simple piece of advice: pay yourself first. He paused, reading it over and over. It seemed too easy, too simple to be meaningful. How could such a basic concept possibly change his life? Yet something about those words lingered in his mind, whispering that maybe, just maybe, this was the key he'd been missing. The next day, he went to work with a renewed sense of purpose. He calculated his monthly income and set aside even a tiny portion, $10, into a separate savings account before paying any bills. It wasn't much, but it was something. He felt a small flicker of pride as he made the transfer. For the first time in years, he was acting with intention, taking control of his own money rather than letting it control him. At first, the temptation to spend was almost unbearable. His friends invited him out for dinner, and a new video game caught his eye. Bills came in faster than his paycheck, mocking his efforts. Several times, Daniel considered abandoning his new rule. "What's the point?" he muttered one night, staring at his empty wallet. $10 won't change anything. But then he remembered something else he had read. Heroes are not defined by their successes, but by their persistence in the face of challenges. He reminded himself that even small actions, repeated consistently, could produce massive results over time. So he stuck with it. Weeks turned into months. $10 became 20, then 50, then 100. Daniel found creative ways to cut back, brown bagging his lunches, canceling unnecessary subscriptions, and finding ways to pick up extra shifts. Each small victory reinforced his new mindset. The anxiety that had plagued him began to ease, replaced by a quiet confidence. One particularly hard day, a storm of unexpected expenses threatened to derail his progress. His car broke down, and the repair shop quoted a price he couldn't immediately cover. Daniel panicked, but remembered the principle that had guided him these past months: pay yourself first. Instead of draining his savings to cover the entire cost, he negotiated a payment plan and continued to contribute to his account. It was a test of patience, and though he stumbled emotionally, he refused to give up. As months passed, Daniel began to notice something remarkable. His money was no longer disappearing into a black hole. His savings grew steadily, and with it, a newfound sense of freedom. He no longer felt like a victim of circumstance. Every dollar he saved was a declaration that he was in control of his life. The more he learned about money, the more his confidence grew. He read books, attended workshops, and even started a small side hustle fixing electronics for neighbors. With each extra dollar earned, he added to his savings, and with each small success, his self-esteem grew. Friends began to notice the change. "You look different," one remarked. Daniel smiled, realizing that his transformation wasn't just financial, it was personal. He had learned discipline, resilience, and the power of taking action. One evening, Daniel sat on his balcony, looking at the quiet streets of his small town. The first snow of the season had fallen, and the lights from the houses reflected off the white blanket, creating a sense of peace he hadn't felt in years. He checked his savings account and saw that the amount he had once thought impossible was now a reality. A wave of gratitude washed over him. Daniel understood, finally, that the magic wasn't in the rule itself, but in the commitment to his own future. By paying himself first, he had broken the cycle of scarcity and taken the first step towards financial freedom. He realized that money, when treated with respect and strategy, could be a tool rather than a source of stress. Soon, opportunities Daniel had once only dreamed of became attainable. He invested in a small online business, started planning for a down payment on a house, and even began contributing to a retirement account. Things that had seemed impossible just a year ago. The young man who had been constantly anxious and broke had transformed into someone with vision, control, and hope.
One rule changed everything for him. And one decision today can change everything for you. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.